千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Daodejing by Lao Zi. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now. To be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process of the Tao. The Western perspective on knowing. The image that you see there, that is Mark Twain, perhaps the greatest humorist in American history. There's a quote that's often attributed to him, but may be from an anonymous source. The quote says, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." This is a very popular quote because it is so true. It is something that we see all the time when people are so sure about something that just ain't so. That's ultimately what gets you into trouble. So, as I mentioned, it's attributed oftentimes to Mark Twain because it sounds like it's something that he could have said. But when I say that it may be from an anonymous source, it is only because Mark Twain published a great amount of work, and this exact quote cannot be found in his books, essays, and speeches. And therefore, when quote investigators look into this matter, they see that prior to his time, there were similar sayings that could be derived, but this may be a case where something is a quote is so good, so memorable, and so naturally attached to a particular historical figure that it gets assigned to that person, even though they might have said it in a different way. But let's stick to the meaning. It is the same wisdom that Lao Tzu has expressed. We human beings oftentimes get facts and opinions mixed up. What is actually the opinions that we hold, we actually think of as facts. So we hold them forth, we present them, we insist on them, and like we know we're right. This is, there's no arguing against this. These are just the facts that I'm presenting, etc. I myself have had to make sure that what I'm expressing, is it an opinion or is it a fact? Historically, we've had so many examples when human beings were so sure about something, but it was actually just an opinion. How about this one? We know the earth is flat. Everybody can see that. Look at the ground. The ground is flat. Well, that turns out to be an opinion. That is a wrong opinion. Then here's another one. We know we're right in the center of the universe. Everyone can see that too. If you look at the stars, all the heavenly bodies, they all revolve around the earth. So we're right in the center of the universe. We have this blessed, special position in the entirety of the cosmos. Okay, well, that turns out to be an opinion, and it is the wrong opinion. When we learn more facts, we figure out that we are indeed not in the center of the universe, and we're not very special or unique at all. We're in one tiny, insignificant corner of the universe and not at the very center. Then, closer to home, we just absolutely know for sure, that heavy objects fall faster than light objects. And isn't that obvious? Isn't that what everyone can see? I mean, just imagine it. Heavy objects fall quickly. Light objects, they float their way down. So that turns out to also not be true, and that's only because we don't understand concepts like air friction, or we did not used to have those concepts. So when you think about the wisdom behind this particular saying, whether from Mark Twain or someone else, you can see exactly how it matches the line that we're talking about today. To not know but think you know is flawed. Or, as Lao Tzu would say, 不知知病. Okay? And with this line, just looking at this line by itself, I think everyone can see that this has nothing to do with physical illness, nothing to do with health. It's not talking about sickness at all. Now, I want to switch from the Western perspective on knowing to the Eastern perspective on knowing. I'm going to bring in Confucius. And the reason why I want to bring in Confucius to talk about what he said, what he wrote, is that he lived at approximately the same time as Lao Tzu. He came after Lao Tzu. He was a younger man who regarded the older Lao Tzu as his master. But he studied from the same source. So a lot of people are not aware that what Lao Tzu studied and what Confucius studied was one and the same body of knowledge. They were both studying the Tao. They each expressed it in different ways. But many of the concepts they talked about were mirror images of one another. So one of the quotes from Confucius, this is one of, for people who actually know Confucius, this is one of the more frequently quoted sayings from Confucius. 知之为知之 不知为不知，是知也. What does that mean? What does it say? And here's a translation that's been available, that's been utilized and agreed upon for quite a few years. To know that we know what we know, and that we don't know what we don't know, that is true knowledge. Now, I want to bring in the Tao symbol yin and yang here because it is talking about two different sides. What we know, what we don't know. Complementary duality, knowledge, ignorance. Knowledge, genuine knowledge, lack of knowledge. So to understand what Confucius is trying to say, just think about the opposite of this statement. If you mix up what we don't know with what we do know, you get confusion. There are things, facts that are not at your command, that you don't know about, that you are unaware of. But if you mix it up with what you do know, then you assume that you know those things when in fact you do not. So Confucius is basically saying we need the clarity, we need the wisdom to do two things. Number one side of the yin and yang symbol, we want to truly master the knowledge that we do possess, that we have acquired. We've worked hard to gain that knowledge. We want to be sure we know what we do know. Then, on the flip side of the coin, on the other side of the yin and yang symbol, we want to recognize what we still need to explore and learn. If you're lacking that, then you don't even know where you can go to increase the knowledge that you possess. So if we don't possess this clarity, we make mistakes. We can end up discarding genuine knowledge that we have worked hard to learn and that's a waste of time and effort, or we become blissfully unaware of all the areas where we still lack knowledge. Like we feel pretty good about ourselves without realizing our ignorance. Now you can see that this is an exact correspondence to the line, to not know but think you know is flawed. Same idea. And now I want to present yet another way to look at it to really drive home this point. As I mentioned, this is the most important thing in this entire chapter. This is the key to the kingdom. So I'm presenting a table here as a mini summary. Let me explain what this table is trying to portray. I've got the world divided up into two areas. There are aspects of the world that we know about, that we actually do understand. We know about those things. And then there are aspects of the world we still don't understand, that we're still ignorant of. So the world is divided into the known aspects and the unknown aspects. There's stuff we know, stuff we don't. Human beings can have awareness of what we know and what we don't know, or we can lack awareness of what we know and don't know. So human beings know about genuine knowledge or know about our lack of knowledge, but then perhaps we're unaware. We don't know that we knew something all along, or we don't know that we're lacking knowledge, which is bad news. So let me throw out some examples. So in the category that is the intersection of know, human beings know that they have genuine knowledge about the world, the things we can be sure about, time-tested and proven knowledge, the things that just work, the things that we apply to life, the things that we use every day, all the time. Those are the kind of genuine knowledge that we know we possess. Okay, well, what about the other possibility? What if we do actually know something, but we are not aware of it? Actual knowledge, we did not know we had an innate or instinctive knowing. There is actually quite a bit. We are all born with certain ideas, concepts, and instinctive knowledge, things that are sort of a birthright. So one example is from a healthcare provider, a doctor who cares for women who deliver babies. She specializes in that. She comments that after decades of experience assisting her patients, she comments that women have this ability to know what it is that they need and what it is that their baby needs. The mother has this knowledge. This is a very good thing. But then many women will second guess this ability. They question their own instincts. And sometimes it is because the maternal instinct is something new to them. And sometimes it is because they have this overwhelming desire to protect this amazing new life that now is dependent on the mother. Whatever it is, this doctor says, women should know that their maternal instinct is real, is strong, and is present. They should accept it. They should embrace it. They should listen to it. If you think something is wrong, it probably is. If you think everything is good, it probably is. So women have this ability. They're more capable, strong, and able than they give themselves credit for. They don't know how capable they are. They don't know about the genuine knowledge they possess sometimes. So that's just one example out of many. In your life, you're also going to come across cases, instances, where you know how to do something without realizing that it was in you all along. So that belongs in this category. Let's then take a look at the right-hand column. lack of knowledge. So when you know that you don't know about something, the things we know that are out there, but we do not understand them yet, this is a very good thing. It's good that we are aware of what we don't know so that we can go about finding out more, get more information about them. The reverse of that, the opposite of that, is we don't even know enough to realize how ignorant we are, how little we know. That is bad. That is not good. And on the right-hand side, the upper right-hand corner and the lower right-hand corner correspond to what we have studied today. To know that you do not know is highest. That's the combination of knowing about the lack of knowing about the lack of knowledge. And then correspondingly, it's not a good thing to not know, but think you know. And then the other possibility, of course, is to not even know that you don't know. Not aware of something that exists that you should find out more about. Either way, it's a flaw that can lead to even more ignorance. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us all travel safely so we can meet again. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.